So Keith, Chembda, try to do it. Try the natural one there. Chembda.
Keith put more of a k on it.
I noticed that.
How do you do it?
Keith.
No, how do you say her name?
Chembda.
And then you say it.
Chembda.
See, it's different. He puts more of a k.
He was born in a different place.
I'm finally getting it right. Took 13 years.
Yeah. You guys ever have a fight in all those thousands of episodes?
Yes.
I mean, like a bad one, not like it's this is such provocative entertainment because they disagree so much, but like you fight and it's like shit. They're like pissed.
Yeah. What was it called? There's the first one that we had.
Don't bring up old fights. I don't know.
He shut it off in the middle. He's like, well, now we're really fighting. And I was like, but we do everything else on air, so just turn it back on and let's finish. And it actually helped because a lot of times he'll just stare at me when I'm trying to argue with him, and it's like, how boring is that? And how much, like, how
she
far
has all
can
the
he
points
go?
anyway, you know.
Yeah, and he just literally stares. But if he's in front of a mic, he can't stare, so he was forced to respond to me.
Are you in new relationships now, or is this still like? Are you?
Oh no, this is like 10 years ago.
Yeah,
she's
married now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
she's moved on.
Yes.
And whereas Keith is holding on to this for dear life.
Who knows? You just live. The universe will give what the universe gives, right? This could all be the universe fucking with me.
Keith, do you think there are good and bad people?
Yeah, of course.
Like, what do you think is responsible for that? Do you think they're born good and bad, or do you think it's they just get the luck of the draw and
they know better? A lot of it starts with it just is what it is, and then you take your personality whichever way you want. You realize people need help, and you're here to serve, or you don't, and you're selfish. I think it's that simple. I think
so. We're being tested every day in big and small ways to like usually we can get by probably not like doing too much of an extreme choice, but basically there are people who are like, you know what? It's been 3 Wednesdays in a row since Mercury's in retrograde, and I'm just gonna kill this dog with a knife or something. Like I guess that's a bad example because that sounds like a compulsion that someone would have.
Example.
I feel like I missed a step.
Well, I'm trying to think of because I don't know if
I think it's like being healthy. I think everybody prefers to be in shape, but they don't want to do the work.
Yes.
They don't want to exercise. They don't want to eat healthy. But if they did, they would look better and probably feel better. And I think that's what it's like to be. I think when you're bad, when you're evil, you're being lazy. And when you're being good, you're actually putting some effort into life.
Yes.
I don't know. I have
we just said.
I have a problem. I mean, I don't have a problem. You guys are allowed to think that way because I'm a good person. But I just feel like then I start to like microscope that and go, well, yeah, but if I'm lazy and then I decide to start working out, like, okay, now I feel like I'm a good person because it was harder to do that than it was. But it's still what I felt like doing. I mean, I guess it gets into that whole stupid philosophical, like, free will versus fate thing. I mean, like, if my brain chemistry is going to result, are we on some synaptic level making fucking choices? Like, and that's our...
It's like this. Like, if I'm, like... If Kate says, hey, let's go for a hike, I go, meh.
Like I'm there.
That's it. And then, but if I go, I'm walking and I'm having a good time and it's nice. And then I go, I'm glad I did that. I like doing that. That's fun. I always say,
What if she says...
whenever she says, let's go for a hike. So the next time she says, let's go for a hike, I know this time I'm not going to do that noise.
But do you do it anyway?
I do it anyway.
All right.
Yeah.
I kind of like good, maybe good and bad is maybe the way I can buy into it is healthy and unhealthy. Like we all get depressed. We all get like... And so, or like it's like a sink full of dishes. Like nobody wants to do the dishes, but like you don't. It's not like this battle of. It's just sort of like I don't know. If somebody told you that eating a dog turd made you live another 50 years, you either eat the dog turd or you don't. And I don't think that makes you a good or a bad person. But if you eat it and they were telling the truth and you live for another 50 years. there might be all kinds of other side effects too. Like, oh, the reason for that is because there's like an enzyme in dog turds that like also like lifts your psychology, or it's like there's vitamin D in dog turds and all this stuff. So along the way, you're gaining all these benefits, and you're like thinking more clearly, and then you're like, well, dude, I ate dog shit the other day, and I feel like $1 million. So then this homeless guy goes, hey, can I have $2? And you're like, you know what? Fuck it. Here's $2, and that Jim Carrey movie kind of thing. And you're like, so the whole time, it's like you could. I think it's like you could. That's the way I look at it. Is like there's people who are in like they're like resonating with they're like sick, and there's people who are.
So yeah, he's kind of talking about that. Keith is more black and white, and I'm more gray on the show and off. So for example, a close friend of mine, we actually were roommates with each other, even with my husband. What's that?
Bill?
Johnny. You were close.
Yes.
Johnny.
Mm-hmm, you know. And he was our roommate for a little while, and we could sense that the stress of life was starting to kind of skew his thinking and skew like his response to life in general and to going to work and things like that. And then we had to separate ways. We were all moving, and he got butthurt about it and spray painted the entire house. And
Let me be clear how bad the spray painting was. Not only on all the walls, but like an asshole in all the corners. So when you repaint, you have to repaint the corners. Fuck you.
So it
You
didn't
sound like
happen.
you've been hurt by painting before.
It's not good. I'd rather eat dog shit. I'm not exaggerating.
It makes you live long.
I'm hearing good things.
So his point was, this guy is just bad news. He's a bad person, and no one should deal with him. He should be locked up for however long. And my thing is,
He should be spray painted.
his brain
In the corners.
glitched, and I should stay away from him for now. But I believe that he can find another path and become a good person.
And until he does, Keith is right.
Well, I
It's
guess
not about that. It just is.
Yeah, I remember. I've told this story before because like I broke up with a girlfriend, or she broke up with me, so I was all fucked off about it. And she was mutual friends with all my friends, and then I was just handling the breakup really poorly, and I just I couldn't stop thinking about her and all this stuff, and I was just a drag to be around, and I found out that everybody was in Palm Springs without me, and I was like, "What the fuck? You guys don't even like me now? You like her more than me and all this stuff?" And I was just having this terrible day, and my friend Dino said, "Look, no, we love you. We just it's not a bad. It doesn't make you a bad person if people don't want to be around you. It's like you have a cold. It's like you have snot dripping out of your face. Like, we can't wait for you to get better. That's it." And I was like, oh. And then I was just like, yeah, okay, so I'm sick. Like, I have a sickness called, like, I hate myself, and I hate my girlfriend, and I hate my friends, and I hate everybody, and I wish that, why can't, it's like, it's just all sickness.
She had a sickness called forgetting to bring tents, water, and food to
well,
a
that's what you
camping trip.
get. Don't fucking choose her.
That trip, I went to a hospital, Jesus Christ. I went to a hotel.
We heard.
Because I just didn't I didn't trust that camping would be fun with that group of friends. And sure enough, they forgot to bring everything essential, and they all had to go back on making fun of me for getting the hotel. And they all came and stayed in my hotel. Jerks.
what do they think a camping trip is?
They think it's bringing tents and bringing food and water, but they forgot to do all those things. They left it all back at home.
That sounds like the good drugs.
Yeah. And then I did acid and found myself sitting on a rock in the moonlight talking to a rattlesnake.
We were wondering if you were homeless. We were like, we'll support you.
What's that?
What did the rattlesnake say?
Rattlesnake was being groovy. I'm afraid of snakes. I sat on a rock and the rock was
going
talking
on,
to me.
Jeff?
Whoa.
This rock had a face
Davis.
and it was talking to me.
Did he tell you to eat the apple?
But I kept hearing a
Eat
bug
these
going.
apples.
It's a sketch.
Okay.
Jeff Davis,
You're in a thing right now.
you're in my thing.
Oh, yeah, you should totally eat the apple.
Eat my nuts.
Snakes are
Is it a nut
nuts.
tree?
Eat my nuts. Eat my balls.
Eat my
Fix the
nuts.
EQ on that.
is this the rattlesnake talking that's sitting next to me on
Eat
this
my
rug?
nuts, Dan. It's
Why are you calling me Dan?
Sorry.
Okay. All
That's
right.
the
Never
snake,
mind.
not me.
Okay.
Oh, well, that sketch fucking didn't get off the
All right.
ground.
No. I fucked up.
That was
That's
all
why you
fucked
don't
up.
plan things. Don't plan.
Yeah, don't plan it.
I'm afraid of snakes, and especially poisonous.
You don't like-
kill you in the middle of the night snakes, and baby snakes are going to bite you first because they're not trained to like kind of keep it cool.
And they eat you from the toes up. So
the
they
snake is not going to eat me from the
they
toe down.
eat you from. Did you see that elephant that got eaten?
I think you're dead by the time it starts eating you, though.
That's how they do it. That's how they get you.
Yeah, so
Start
it's
with
okay.
the
So
toes.
I kept hearing.
so you can't run
I
away.
kept hearing the buzzing of bugs and zzz, oh, the bugs and the rock is talking to me, and I look over and now it's a rattlesnake, a little baby rattlesnake. It's sitting right next to me. I'm like, hey, little buddy. I'm like, you should move on. And Mark Rivers comes up with a big floodlight. And he goes, Jeff, get the fuck out of there. I was like, hey man, I'm fucking high. Like, I was grooving. I was groove-tastic with a rattlesnake. Next day, was not on acid, and duct taped my pants around my boots because there were snakes all over the goddamn joint.
All right. I got one.
So you guys brought duct tape, but not a tent. Just wondering.
I came quite
There's a lot
prepared.
of ducks out in the desert. A lot of people don't know that.
And that you can make tape out of them.
The
How ignorant of me.
desert ducks are dangerous. The most dangerous.
The worst.
Because they're like, how the fuck did I end up out here where I can't
How-
even use a third of my abilities?
I can't even use a third of my ability.
Sketch idea: duck, desert, and
God damn it! I'm an all-terrain chicken. What am I doing in the one place where I can't rub that in the chicken's face? All right, come on.